Well, good afternoon, guys. Um, Students who are going to watch this recorded thing, make sure you guys write down this stuff on the whiteboard. Of course, I'll be explaining all these things again, but I'll be having a picture of this as well so that you can actually have these notes ready. Okay. Now, but before we go start with the ACT science, I have a few things to discuss with you guys. First, today is the day number 4, right? Um, of the class. So I want to know from you guys. Hopefully, it's not muted. Okay. Any feedback of our instructors? You had Rikav, Aubrey, Lily. Lily was only on the first day, just as an introduction. So, do you have any complaints, concerns, compliments, anything you want to share? Good things as well, but you don't have to. It doesn't have to be all negative. Yeah,
I think the pod makes it like easier to understand.
Rikav makes it easier to understand. Yeah, yeah. His notes are really really helpful. I hope you guys are writing down tons of notes. Again, as I said last year, we had 18 students get a 36 in English. Has to we we attribute to his notes and his, especially the next after the third class. I think you have had two with Rikav. Um, After the third one, the fourth and the fifth will be pretty detrimental for your English course. Anything else? Any other feedback? Any questions you have for me? All right, moving on. Raise your hands or do the thumbs up if you're online. If you've done with all the homework. Okay, one, two, three, four, five. Just getting caught up. Okay. Online looks like almost all are done. Is there anybody who has not done the homework? Okay. All right. Homework is important. Then, if you're going to be taking the October and the December ACT test, now is the time to start registering. So talk to your parents, get registered for if you want to take the test. They can always text me for any questions as well. But yeah, now things will really be, yeah.
Is there a spring one?
Spring class.
I know you wouldn't have to sign up now, but is there a spring ACT test?
Oh yeah, there's always 7 in a year. September, October, December, Feb, April, June, July. 7 times. Um, so things will be in full swing in class from now onwards. Okay, so things, we started first day slow, second day we kind of got the ball rolling. Now things are going to be moving up really really fast. Okay. Um, if any one of you have taken a real ACT test, could you raise your hands? Have you any of you have taken the real test? I see 1, 2 online, Sarah and Shelly. All right, so I want to hear from you both, Sarah and Shelly. When you guys took the real test and you went to the science portion, how did you guys feel? Because this is the last one.
It was good, but it was just kind of a lot sometimes.
Were you tired?
I felt kind of rushed.
Were you tired?
Yeah, I think science is the last one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was pretty tired by the end of it.
Yes. People say they're usually tired and hungry. So, how about you, Shelly?
Same. It felt like a really long test, and your brain just feels fried by the end.
Yeah, it does. It really does feel fried and tired. So, if you are not ready for this can come as a shock to you guys. So, I had a student from Heelan, Bishop Heelan High School, which is a local Sioux City high school here. I had a student who took this ACT in ninth grade. I still remember her very well. She's a senior right now. Look at her scores, okay? As a ninth grader, okay? She was an excellent, excellent student. 35 in English, 32 in math, 36 in reading, okay? As a ninth grader, it's pretty good. But science, 24, because she just gave up because it was tiring. So you have to understand that if you don't practice for the ACT science, you will be for a big surprise. You'll be like, as somebody said, right? You'll be drained, you'll be fried, and you feel like giving up. Okay? So, we're gonna be going through ACT science today. And you guys have written all this stuff, so there's nothing for you to write here. So you just have to listen to this. Okay? These strategies we have done for 16 years now. So it's tried and tested many, many times. So listen up, nothing for you to write here, just all right. Just like ACT reading, ACT science is 35 minutes, 40 questions. Okay? So reading exactly the same thing. So it's 52.5 seconds per question. So it's going to go really, really fast. For the last few years, it's been 6 passages. It used to be 7. Okay? So go ahead and get your blue books, please. Called the ACT 10 book. Mine is an older edition, so mine is looks like this. Yours should be the blue one. Okay? Do you have it?
No, I don't think I had enough room. I thought that was the, yeah, I don't have enough room.
But you have received that, right? It
Yeah,
should
I
be.
have that, it's at home.
Okay, oh, that's okay. We can manage. You may have to just work with somebody like that. But anyway, so this book, what you guys have, the ACT science portion has 7 passages, not 6. It is okay. So not a whole lot of problems, by the way. Okay. So it used to be 7 notes, 6 passages. Each passage has 5 questions, or 6 questions, or 7 questions. Okay? So, now to do well in science, 2 key words to remember here. You have to practice a lot before the real test, and you'll have to stay focused during the test. People are saying, right, they get tired, they get fried. So if you lose your attention, you lose your focus, you lose your concentration, you'll be in for a big surprise. I've had a lot of examples where students have just hit the cliff and the science course drops. Now, this is not a science test. This is a science reasoning test. So if you want to write down what SRT stands for, write down science reasoning test. Okay? What's the difference is, in the science test, you have to know the information. Like for example, if you're in a chemistry class, they'll give you a reaction with certain reactants and they'll ask you to write the products. That's a prior knowledge, you gotta know that. But not in ACT science, it's a science reasoning test, and you do not have to have any prior knowledge of the science. Because they will give you the information, you're supposed to comprehend the information, you have to analyze the information and answer the question. Now, I want you to be aware of this. We have 7th and 8th graders here and 9th graders here, so I want to talk about this. One of the things they having a difficulty is, what is a prior knowledge? So for example, last year there was a passage on photosynthesis, and they did not define photosynthesis. So the question here is, are you expected to know at least a photosynthesis? Okay? If you ask me, yes. Some may disagree. So I think I think they should include that, and I expect you guys to know that. But for example, there was another passage last year where they talked about mitosis and meiosis and the divisions, the phases of the mitosis and meiosis, which I did not expect to be a prior knowledge, because if you're not taken higher level biology, you would not know that. Sounds good? So, how many questions do I deal with this on an every test basis? One. And you may say, what's one is a big deal? It's not a big deal. One is a big deal. Okay. Now, let's talk about this here. These three graphs. Okay. You may have to have some understanding of this. So listen to this. This is a ACT math curve in difficulty level from question number 1 to 60. This is an ACT science difficulty level curve from passage 1 to 6. Okay? So if I do the best fit line, if I draw a straight line, math is easy. First question is usually easy, 60th is usually difficult. So it's going from easy to hard. Boom. First one is easy, medium, and hard. So it's easy, it's good to start with question number 1 in math. It's common sense at the time. But not in science. Science, you have no idea. Passage 1 may be difficult in one test. Passage 2 may be easy. 3 might be easy. 4 is difficult. 5 is difficult, and so forth. In the very next test, you'll have a complete flip where passage 1 is easy, 2 is difficult, and so forth. So this is called, listen to this, asymmetrical distribution of difficulty level. I repeat, this is called asymmetrical distribution of difficulty level, and this is called a symmetrical distribution of difficulty level. So what our strategists will do is to convert an asymmetrical difficulty level to a symmetrical difficulty level. Okay? And how do you do that? So listen to this. When you're ready to start the ACT science test, when the supervisor says your time starts now, you around 45 seconds, okay, you're going to scan all 6 passages, manually flipping the pages. Sounds good? You're going to flip the pages. In your book, it'll be 7, by the way, 7 passages. So when you're scanning and flipping the pages, you're looking for a few things. You're looking for a passage which has less reading. Less reading, good for you. Okay? That's the one you want to start, because you're converting an asymmetrical difficulty level to a symmetrical difficulty level. They're making it easy for you guys. Start with the easy one first. More graphs, more pictures, the better. Sounds good? Less tables, the better. But if you have a discussion type passage, which you will see today, also called as conflicting viewpoints, that has to be done last. Sounds good? Because this resembles a reading passage. Make a comment please in your notes. This resembles a reading passage. And that's going to be taking, I'm not saying it's difficult or easy, it just takes the most time to answer the question. Fair enough? So, remember, we have done this for 16 years, okay? We have emphasized this enough. Some of our best students will take only 25 seconds because they have practiced enough. So if you practice enough, which you will, by the way, you'll be between 25 seconds to 45 seconds. You literally are flipping the pages, looking for this. Sounds good? And what is the goal of this? Of this exercise is to select 2 passages. The first 2 you're going to do, so that you want to start with the easy passage first. So let's say you select passage 1 and 6, and some students select 6 and 1. 1 and 6 and 6 and 1 in my language are not the same, because you really want to start with the easy passage. Now, in the real test, you have nobody else to compare with. Am I right? You are on your own. But the intention of this class will be you'll practice so many times that, listen to this, 80% of our students, 80% of our students will select the first 3 passages correctly. Okay? And these guys just did that exercise, the advanced level, we just did that. And by the time the first hour got done, 100% of the students had selected the first passage correctly. It doesn't take much, it's a little common sense as well. But this practice has to happen. And when you practice this again and again, you will know exactly what you're looking for. And we'll do enough times here. The reason we are doing this is to convert an asymmetrical difficulty level to a symmetrical. And this will decide a lot of things. So one of the students was asking me there, why do this? Why? Because if you start with the easy passage, every question has the same point value. You get the questions done quicker, your confidence will increase, you're not draining the time, right? So it's basically getting the confidence for the last 3 by starting off the good. Same thing here. You start with easy, get some points banked basically. Now, you select 2 passages, you answer the questions, and you select the next 2 again using the same strategy. So that's why it's called the 2-2-2 strategy. So what this means, you're selecting 2 at a time. Sounds good? Okay. Now for tables, there's 2 types of tables. There's a data table or a word table. You want to select the data tables. Remember, tables are not preferred, but eventually you will get to the table passages. Prefer the ones which has data, numbers. And there will be another type of table, size-wise. Small tables and large tables. You select small tables. So ideally you're looking for small data tables, way better than large word tables. 2 small tables are better than 1 large table. Write on this comment. 2 small tables is better than 1 large table in ACT Science because of the time. Okay? Now, what is this one? So in ACT there is 215 questions, total of 215 questions. Every question has been what's called a normalized. Okay, it's a process called equate. That's a technical term, but the process, what they do is normalization. What does it mean? So let's say the first question in science was easy, and let's say you get it wrong. You are gonna lose some additional points for that question, and that's called a fudge factor. Okay, so if it's an easy question and you get it wrong, they're gonna try to normalize that by removing additional points. On the contrary, let's say you had a difficult question and you get it right, they're gonna give you points. So they are saying that what they're trying to do is they're trying to balance one ACT test to another ACT test. And that's what they say in their website, that independent of what test you pick, you should get the same score, which I don't believe, by the way, because every question has been normalized to the same difficulty level. Sounds good? So this is huge for you guys. So if you make a mistake in the easy question, it's going to kill you. And you will know that, by the way. You will know which question has a negative, which one is positive, which one is 0. Majority of them is 0, I heard. But if you have a lot of negative fudge factors and you make mistakes in that one, that's a problem. Make sense? Okay. So, do you have to leave?
Yeah.
Go. go ahead and get your, yeah.
When we're practicing, will we do 2, 2, 3, or how will that work?
In here, yes, we'll be doing 2, 2, 3. But in the real test, will be 2, 2, 2. Theory.
Yep.
All right, go and get your blue books. All the way to page 808. Do you see a science test? Okay. So what's going to happen today is we're going to practice this. The next 15-20 minutes will be dedicated to practicing the selection of the passages. Remember, it's all the first step we're focusing right now. We are not even worried about the questions right now. Only selection of the passages. So what I'm going to do is, just as today is the first day, I'm going to give you more time, okay? So I'm going to give you guys double the time, 90 seconds. And your job will be, on this test, you're on page 808. Out of the 7 passages, you have to select only the top 2 you would do based on this criteria. You will make mistakes initially, trust me. You'll learn real fast. Your time starts now. Go. You have a lot of time, 90 seconds. Do you want to sit with him? Time's up. 1.5 minutes. So, again, I want to make sure that I involve you guys in the part, in this, like what we did with other group. So I really want you guys to speak up here. This is the practice. So, and this is a big class, so I can't ask everybody, but I'm gonna hopefully have 5-6 people answer. What is the first 2 you have selected? Let's start with anyone. 2. Okay, go ahead.
I have passage 2 and passage 5.
2 and 5. Okay. Anybody else from this group? Yeah.
I got 5 and 6.
5 and 6. What yours was 2 and 5? Okay. How about, yeah, go ahead.
3 and 5.
3 and 5. Let's see online. Anybody? What did you guys pick?
I picked 2 and 5.
Okay. Anybody else?
I picked 2 and 5.
Okay. Anybody else?
I got 5 and 2.
2, 5, 2, 5, 5, 2. Okay. Anybody else?
I picked 2 and 5.
Okay. All right. That's enough for me to kind of see. So 2 and 5, and seems to be the popular one. 3, 4, 5. For sure, I would start with 5. There is enough information based on looking at it, a little bit reading, one small picture. How many have 5 as the first one? Raise your hands. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Online, let's see how many have 5 as the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, quite a bit. Again, remember, this is a judgment, right? There's no correct or wrong answer. It's not an absolute science here. It's not science. It's just making the best judgment. Passage 2 and passage 7. I would have gone with 7 instead of 2. 2 is a table versus a picture. Reading is almost the same. Okay? Again, is it correct? Is it wrong? There's nothing right, wrong here. Just making a decision based on the thing. What do you guys think? 5, 7, and 5, 2. You gotta get this right. So what do you think? Are you guys okay with this? Or do you think you wanna stick with your 2? More you interact, more you're gonna learn. I can share lots of examples, so you have to interact. Like that other group was fantastic actually. So they were asking a lot of questions. So you guys okay then? Yeah,
I would have stuck with 2.
you got stuck with 2. Okay, that's what I want to hear. How many would have still preferred 5-2 than a 5-7? So
I would have gone with 2 and 5s. Or 5 and 2.
5 and 2. 5 and 2 is okay with me than 2 and 5. Okay. Those are pretty close, by the way. Okay. So just as so that all of us are on the same page, on the page 808, on page 808, at the top write down 5-7. Again, it's just for our to be consistent. Anybody has any question online? Somebody has their hand raised. Okay, thank you. All right, so in the real test, you select 5-2 or 5-7, whatever it is, right? And then you go and do the passage 5, then you go to do the passage 7 or 2, whatever it is. Then you're going to do the same thing again to select the next 2. But this time I'm not going to give you guys 90 seconds. I'm going to give you guys 45 seconds to select the next 2. So remember, we have selected 5-7, so we are all consistent here. You select next 2, your time starts now. 45 seconds. $45 seconds. Okay, let's start the online students. Assuming we go with 5-7 to begin with, what's the next 2 you have selected?
I got passages 2 and 3.
Okay. Yeah.
1 and 6.
Okay.
3 and 2.
So it's here 2 or 3, here 3, 2. Yeah.
2 and 3.
2, 3. Anybody else online?
I got 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay.
I got 2, 3.
2, 3. Okay. All right. Passage 1 is an absolutely no. That's the one should be done last. The discussion of the conflicting viewpoints, because it has no tables, no graphs. It resembles reading. That should have been done last. So you guys had 2. 2 is pretty good. 3. I would have gone with 2 and 3. How many had 2 and 3 or 3, 2? Let's see. Quite a bit. Yeah, good. So let's write down 5, 7, 2, 3. Again, just to be consistent, okay? Remember, this is not a science. This is judgment. Okay, now you're left with the last 3 in this case. Usually it's only 2. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 20 seconds. Your time starts now. Time's up. So you're left with, I believe, 1, 4, and 6. What's the order? Yeah.
4, 6, 1.
4, 6, 1, 6, 4, 1,
6,
6,
4, 1.
6, 4, 1. Online students?
I had 641.
Okay, let's see. 1 is the last, for sure. I would go with 641 because 6 has the data tables, 4 has word problems, so I would go with 641. So 5, 7, 2, 3, 6, 4, 1 is what we call at New Horizon the science code. The first 3, if you get it right, you will have a huge advantage going into the test. Okay? Not that we are not worried about the last 3, trust me, we are. But the impact is much less than the first 3. Sounds good? Now you guys getting a feel of this, what we are trying to do? Remember one thing, you don't have time to screw around. You gotta get this going on. If you're not focused, time is gonna zip by and you wonder what the hell happened. Okay? Let's practice more. Go to page number 723, everybody. And make sure it's the science test. I want to make sure. 723. Is this a science test? Okay. Now let's get this as real as possible in like a real test. I'm gonna give you guys 45 seconds. Okay? 45 seconds to select the first 2. Your time starts now. Time's up. Now I'm going to start with online students who have not shared. You know, I want all of you to participate. I'm trying you guys so that you guys participate. So if you don't want to participate, there's nothing much I can do. So students who did not answer before, you want to share your first 2. Okay, anybody online?
I got 6-4.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah,
6,
6-4. Anybody else? Yeah,
5, 4.
5-4. 6-4, 6-4, 5-4. Yeah,
7, 5.
7-5. Okay. Anybody else?
I also got 6-4.
Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 for sure would be the first one I would do. I would do 5, 6. I would do 5, 6. Again, no right, wrong answer, okay? And you guys said 4. Look at 6 and 4. 6 has more reading, 2 tables. Sorry, 4 has more reading and 2 tables. 6 has one reading, a little bit less reading and 1 table. I'm trying to support my argument basically. 6, 4. No, it has to be 5 first. Has to be 5. Because graphs are much easier than tables. I cannot stress this. Did anybody get 5, 6 or 6, 5? You had 5, 6?
Yeah.
Good. I had 1, 2, 3. Okay, we had few people at least. So again, no right, wrong answer, okay? So on page 723, go ahead and write down 5, 6. All right, now you'll have 25 seconds, only 25 seconds to select the next 2. Your time starts now. Time's up. The reason I'm trying to give you guys less time is to make you understand what really is happening in the test date, in that location. It will be stressful, but if you have practiced, you don't feel stressed. Face-to-face students, what did you pick? Yeah.
7, 4.
7, 4. Anybody? Yeah.
4, 3.
4, 3.
4, 2.
4, 2.
4, 3.
4, 3. 4, 2. How about online students?
I got 4, 3.
Okay, anybody else?
I got 4, 3.
Okay. Let's see. So we had 5 and 6, right? I would do 4 next. I would do either 4, 7 or 7, 4. I would not do 3. 3 is two big tables with words. So I'm actually tending towards 7, 4 a little bit more than a 4, 7. Did anybody had 4, 7, 7, 4? So 1. Again, no right, wrong answer, okay? There's nothing to compare with. Just to practice. The reason 3 is tables. Look at this. Large word problems, word tables really is a problem, and I done this too many times, so trust me on that one. So let's write down 5, 6, 7, 4. Again, 4, 7, 7, 4, pretty close actually. Pretty close. We are left with what? 1, 2, 3, right? So now you imagine if you don't use this strategy and you would have started the real test with the 1, 2, 3, right? The ones we are doing last, you would have set yourself into a big trap. So tell me, we don't have to time this, but tell me, what would you guys do in 1, 2, 3? Would you do 1? Which one do you? 1 would be the last, right? So do you do 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1? What do you feel comfortable with?
I do 2, 3, 1.
Me too. I would go 2, 3, 1. Remember, the last 3 doesn't impact as much as the first 3. Okay. You guys good? Okay. So make sure to write down. So again, just for consistency. All right. On page 723, there's something called directions. Do you see that? On page 723 at the top, right? Please read the directions. All right, look at the term best answer there, okay? So, in science, you're looking for the best answer out of the 4 multiple choice. Okay, in math, it's always the correct answer. 2 plus 2 is 4 is correct, not the best answer. This color of the polo is blue, is the best answer. Sounds good? It's not the correct answer. And the best answer is based on how the author is thinking, not how you are thinking. So this is always going to be tricky. Hopefully your thinking and the author thinking matches. Next. Remember what we did here was to convert an asymmetrical passage distribution difficulty level to a symmetrical level. Okay? Please listen to this. But within each passage in science, it goes more like this. The first question in the science passage, each science passage is usually the easiest. Sounds good? And the last question in the science passage is the difficult. Is it always? No. But this is the average. Sounds good? So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you make a mistake on the first question in science passage, you may have a lot more negative fudge factor than this. You following me? So this is important. So you're trying to focus on the first question, get it right, then you move on to the second one. Don't rush that. Next. If the question says according to figure 1, the answer is in figure 1 and nowhere else. Sounds good? So it's actually telling you where the answer is, because they know 35 minutes is very less. You don't have time, okay? Next. This is a controversial statement. Some students don't like it, some students like it. I would say at New Horizon, 80% of the students like this, 20% don't. So it's your choice. We don't force this one. This is one choice you have. We don't expect our students to read the passage. We expect them to directly go to the question 1 in each passage, because you do not have to know a lot of information of the passage to get it right. Okay? But if you have to eventually read only when necessary. Because I can guarantee if I ask you to read the entire passage, would you remember entire passage? No, you wouldn't. Sounds good? You'll have to eventually go back again. So time is of essence here. But some students are comfortable reading still. We don't enforce it. The rest of the rules we're very particular about. But this one, initially till 2020, we wanted everybody to follow this. After that, we have given that flexibility to students. Next. In ACT Science, there will be some questions where the multiple choice answers will look like this. Will be S and a S and a no and a no. Each one will have a reason in front of it. When you get to this type of question, don't look at the reasons first. Decide whether it's a S or a no first without looking at this. Okay? Without looking at this. Let's say you decide to go with no, then you read the reasoning behind it. Sounds good? Because if you start reading the reasons with this, not only will it take more time, you'll be actually distracted with the reasoning. Sounds good? So you read this once you decide between yes or no. And you'll see these questions quite a bit in ACT. Any questions? All right. Go to page 635. Okay, here's an interesting exercise you guys will be doing. Okay? I'm going to give you guys 1.5 minutes. You will have to arrange the order of the passages. Again, 2, 2, and 3. Okay? But you have to do all 7 in that 1.5 minutes. Okay? Hold on. And then I'm going to ask you guys, all of you, what is the first 3 you have selected? Because the first 3 is very important. You have 1.5 minutes. Your time starts now. Page 635. Use the strategies we have learned so far. Time's up. All right. I want everybody to tell me the first one you have picked. Only the first one. Okay? Go.
7. First one.
Mm-hmm.
3.
What?
3.
3?
7. 3.
Online students, just keep going.
I picked
Just the first one.
3 as my.
I picked 3. I picked 3. 3.
7. 3.
I also picked 3.
3. 3.
So you can see this, right? So there is 80% of the students are getting close to it at least. It looks like passes 3. Let's see. Somebody said, what's the other one people said? 7? 3. Absolutely 3 for me. Absolutely. Graphs is your best friend in science. Okay, let's go to the, so even if you have selected 7, we'll see the second one. So I want you to tell me the second one you have picked. Go.
I had 3 picked.
Oh, you have 7, 7, 3. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
7,
1, okay.
3.
2, or 1.
Okay. Online students, what's the second one you have picked?
7.
7.
7.
7. 7.
Okay, lots of 7s. Okay. I would. 7 is not bad at all, but 1 is also equally. I think you picked 1. You said, right?
I picked 1.
You 1 picked. 7 has less reading compared to 1. 7 has table. 1 has no tables. It has only graphs or pictures. Yeah, this is where the judgment comes. You know, there's nothing right, wrong. I would have gone with 3, 7 personally, but 3, 1 wouldn't harm at all. So people, how many have 3, 7 or 7, 3 as a first 2? Okay. All right. online. Okay, quite a bit. How many have 371 or 317 in the first three? What do you have?
I had 5.
Oh no. Oh no. Look at it is 2 pages, 3 pages almost. This passage 5, right? Or did you pick the wrong number?
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
It's all about-
yeah, that's what I thought. So you can see, within an hour itself, you guys are getting so close to what we are hoping for. Sounds good? But you put in the effort, you practice this way, I think it'll be wonderful experience for you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Do the homework. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Take care.